Lisa Grant sat in her office on Kepler Prime, watching the stars through the large window. She had been Earth's ambassador to the galaxy for 3 years now. The job was usually quiet, dealing with trade agreements and small disputes between human colonies and alien worlds. Today felt different. Her communication device beeped with an urgent message. The red light meant it came directly from the Galactic Council. Lisa opened the message and felt her blood run cold. The Council wanted to see her immediately. Not tomorrow? Not next week. Right now, she walked quickly through the corridors of the diplomatic station. Other aliens moved past her, some floating, some walking on multiple legs, others gliding silently. None of them looked at her. That was strange. Usually, the various species nodded politely when they saw her. Today they seemed to avoid her eyes. The council chambers were massive. 12 different seats arranged in a circle, each designed for a different alien species. At the center stood a platform where speakers could address the council. Lisa had been here many times before, but never for an emergency session. Council Speaker Vexthari rose from his crystal seat. He was 8 feet tall and looked like he was made of living diamond. His voice echoed through the chamber when he spoke. Ambassador Grant of Earth, we have reached a decision regarding your species. Lisa felt her heart beating faster. What decision, Speaker Vexthari? Humanity has become a threat to galactic peace, the crystal being said. His voice showed no emotion. Your species has expanded too quickly. You have built too many warships. You train your soldiers too aggressively. The Council has decided that Earth must surrender control of all military forces. The words hit Lisa like a physical blow. She looked around the chamber. Representatives from 12 alien civilizations stared down at her. Some looked sad, others seemed angry, but none looked surprised. They had all agreed to this before she arrived. You have 30 days, continued Vexthari. Surrender complete control of your military to the Council, or we will take control by force. This is not a negotiation. This is a final decision. Lisa tried to keep her voice steady. Speaker, humanity has followed all galactic laws. We have never attacked another species. Our expansion has been peaceful. Why are you doing this? A new voice spoke from across the chamber. It belonged to Thrakman, the military coordinator. He looked like a giant lizard covered in scars from old battles. Your species is too aggressive, human. We have watched you for 15 years. You build weapons instead of art. You train for war instead of peace. Every species like yours eventually becomes a problem. That's not true, Lisa said. Humans want peace. We joined the galactic community to learn and trade, not to fight. Then why do you have 200 warships? Asked another council member. This one was Quilara from the Etherian Collective. She looked like a cloud of light that somehow spoke. Why do you maintain military bases on 6 different worlds? Why do your soldiers train for combat every day? Lisa knew the real answer, but she couldn't say it here. Earth had been preparing for exactly this moment since first contact with alien life. Dr. Helen Carter, Earth's top expert on alien species, had studied every civilization that joined the Council. She discovered that each one eventually lost its independence. The Council would find reasons to take control, always claiming it was for galactic peace. We maintain defenses because space is dangerous, Lisa said carefully. Pirates, natural disasters, accidents. Any responsible government protects its people. Vexthari's crystal form pulsed with light. Enough. The decision is made. You have 30 days to inform your government. Earth will surrender its military forces to Council control or face the consequences. The session ended abruptly. Lisa found herself standing alone on the platform as the Council members filed out. None of them looked back at her. She had just witnessed humanity being sentenced without a trial back in her office. Lisa activated her secure communication system. The message she sent was short and used a code that every human military officer would recognize. Protocol 7 is now active. She sent it to Admiral Jack Morrison on Earth, to military bases throughout human space, and to colonies that most aliens didn't even know existed. Within minutes, she received a reply from Admiral Morrison. Message received and understood. Proceed. With diplomatic protocols, Earth stands ready. Lisa knew what those words really meant. For 15 years, humanity had been preparing for this day. While the aliens watched Earth's obvious military forces, they had missed the real preparations. Hidden factories had been building ships in secret. Advanced training programs had been disguised as civilian activities. Entire military installations had been built in places where alien sensors couldn't detect them. Dr. Helen Carter had warned Earth's leaders from the beginning. The Council doesn't allow truly independent species, she had said. They wait until a civilization becomes strong enough to be useful, then find excuses to take control. We need to be ready when they come for us. Now they had come. Lisa looked out her window at the alien ships moving between the stars. Most of them belonged to Council species that had once been independent. Now they served the Council's will. Their own governments reduced to local administrators under alien oversight, but Earth was different. Earth had been expecting this. Lisa began preparing her report for President Karen White. She would tell Earth's leader everything she had seen and heard. The Council expected humanity to surrender like all the others had done. They had no idea that humans had spent 15 years getting ready for exactly this moment. The galaxy was about to learn something new about humanity. Earth would not go quietly into that dark night of servitude. The species that had fought world wars, survived ice ages, and reached for the stars would not bow down to alien masters without a fight. As Lisa worked on her report, she allowed herself a small smile. The Council thought they knew everything about human military capabilities. They were about to discover how wrong they were. In 30 days, the real test would begin. 3 weeks had passed since the Council gave humanity their ultimatum. On the Zephyrion homeworld, Council Military Coordinator Thrakman stood before a large display screen showing human space. Red dots marked Earth's known military positions. There were not many of them. As you can see, Thrakman said to the assembled Council members, humanity poses no real threat to our forces. His scarred reptilian face showed confidence as he pointed to the display. Our intelligence reports show they have exactly 203 warships. Most are small patrol vessels. They maintain 6 colony worlds with minimal defenses. The other Council members listened carefully. Speaker Vexthari's crystal form pulsed slowly, a sign he was thinking. What about their ground forces? Approximately 2 million soldiers across all their worlds, Thrakman replied. They appear well-trained for primitive beings, but they lack our advanced weapons and armor. Our smallest battle group could defeat their entire military. Nelsith, the Council's intelligence director, stepped forward. She was tall and thin with gray skin and large black eyes. Our spy networks confirm these numbers. Human activities remain normal, no emergency mobilizations detected. Their ships continue regular patrol routes. Earth itself shows no signs of preparing for war. Council member Quilara, the cloud of light from the Etherian Collective, spoke softly. Perhaps they will surrender peacefully. Humans seem to value life more than most species. They might see our offer of protection as beneficial. Commander. Rifinas from the aquatic world of Hydros Prime made bubbling sounds that translated as laughter. They are new to galactic politics. 15 years is nothing. They probably don't understand that resistance is impossible. Back on Earth, President Karen White sat in the secure briefing room deep beneath the White House. Around the table sat the most important military leaders humanity had ever assembled. None of them looked worried. General Peter Hayes opened a thick folder. The Council's surveillance is working exactly as we planned. They see what we want them to see. All visible military assets are accounted for and performing normal duties. Admiral Jack Morrison nodded. Our patrol ships are following their usual routes. Colony defenses remain at standard levels. Earth's orbital platforms appear to be simple. Space stations. The aliens have no idea what they're really looking at. Colonel Ryan Brooks commanded Earth's most secret military division. His unit didn't officially exist. Deep Space Operations reports all hidden installations are ready. The Council's sensors cannot detect our stealth bases. We have 17 fully operational military stations in star systems they don't even know we've visited. President White looked around the table. How long have we been preparing for this moment? Since first contact, replied Dr. Helen Carter, joining the meeting. By secure video link. The moment our ships met the Council fleet 15 years ago, we began studying their methods. Every species that joins the Council eventually loses its independence. The pattern is always the same. She activated a holographic display showing the history of Council expansion. First, they invite a species to join for trade and protection. Then they slowly identify concerns about that species' military capabilities. Finally, they demand complete surrender of all military forces. No species has ever refused, General Hayes smiled grimly. No species was ever ready for them. The display changed to show Earth's real military capabilities. President White felt her breath catch, even though she had seen these numbers before. The true size of humanity's military forces was staggering. Our visible fleet of 203 ships is real, Admiral Morrison explained. But they're just the tip of the iceberg. Hidden shipyards throughout the solar system have been building vessels using designs the Council has never seen. We have 1,847 warships, ready for combat, with more being completed every day. Colonel Brooks continued the briefing. Manufacturing facilities disguised as mining operations have been producing weapons and equipment for 15 years. We've built everything from personal armor to planet-killing weapons. Our soldiers train in facilities the aliens think are civilian recreation centers. What about our colonies? President White asked. Each colony world has hidden military installations. General Hayes replied. What the Council sees as simple farming communities are actually fortress worlds. Every colonist has military training. Every farm can become a bunker. Every civilian transport can carry troops and weapons. The most impressive revelation came last. Admiral Morrison activated another display showing the outer reaches of human space. Our greatest achievement is the Deep Space Defense Network. While the Council watched our visible activities, we've been building a network of military bases in uninhabited star systems. The display showed dozens of hidden installations. Each base is completely invisible to Council sensors. They use advanced stealth technology we developed specifically to hide from alien detection methods. These bases can coordinate attacks across multiple star systems simultaneously. President White studied the information. What do our intelligence services tell us about Council military strength? They're powerful but predictable, Dr. Carter replied. The Council relies on overwhelming numbers and technological superiority. They expect enemies to fight conventionally. No species has ever used stealth tactics or hidden bases against them. Their main weakness is overconfidence, added Colonel Brooks. They've never faced serious resistance. Every species surrenders when they see the Council fleet. They don't know how to handle an enemy that fights back effectively. Admiral Morrison closed his folder. Operation Revelation is ready to proceed. When the Council comes for us, they'll discover that humanity has been preparing for this war since the day we met them. Meanwhile, on Kepler Prime, the Council was making final preparations for humanity's expected surrender. They had scheduled a ceremony where Earth's leaders would formally hand over control of their military forces. New services across the galaxy prepared to broadcast the event as an example to other potentially troublesome species. Council. Speaker Vextari reviewed the surrender documents. The terms were harsh but standard. Earth would maintain local police forces but surrender all starships, weapons, and military installations to Council control. Human colonies would accept Council governors. Earth itself would host a Council military base to ensure compliance. Have we received any response from the humans? Vextari asked. Intelligence Director Nalsith checked her reports. Ambassador, Grant continues normal diplomatic activities. No unusual communications detected. Earth's government appears to be preparing for surrender. Excellent, the crystal being replied. Admiral Zektal's fleet is ready to move if needed, but I doubt we'll need to use force. Humans are logical beings. They'll see that surrender is their only option. None of the council members knew that their intelligence was completely wrong. Earth's apparent normalcy was an elaborate deception. While they planned humanity's surrender ceremony, Earth's leaders were putting final touches on the greatest military surprise in galactic history. The countdown to confrontation continued. In 7 days, the galaxy would learn that humanity had been hiding a secret that would change everything. The 30th day arrived. Ambassador Lisa Grant walked into the council chambers carrying a single data pad. The room was packed with representatives from all 12 member civilizations. News cameras from across the galaxy pointed at her, ready to broadcast humanity's expected surrender to billions of viewers. Council Speaker Vexthari stood at his crystal podium. His voice echoed through the chamber. Ambassador Grant, has Earth reached its decision regarding our generous offer of protection? Lisa looked up at the towering alien leader. Her voice was calm and clear. Yes, Speaker Vexthari. Earth has considered your offer very carefully. Excellent, the crystal being replied. Please present your surrender documents so we can complete. This processed quickly. The chamber fell silent. Every alien representative leaned forward, expecting to witness another species bow to council authority. Lisa took a deep breath and spoke words that would echo across the galaxy. Earth respectfully declines the council's offer. We choose to remain independent and maintain control of our own military forces. The silence stretched for several seconds. Then the chamber erupted. Alien voices filled the air in dozens of languages. Some representatives jumped from their seats. Others made sounds of shock and disbelief. The news cameras captured every moment of the chaos. Speaker Vexthari's crystal form flashed bright red. This is impossible. No species has ever refused the Council's protection. You must reconsider immediately. Earth's decision is final, Lisa replied. We wish to remain friends with the Council, but we will not surrender our sovereignty. Military. Coordinator Thrakman rose from his seat, his scarred face twisted with anger. Then you have chosen war, foolish human. The Council Defense Fleet will teach your species the price of defiance. Within minutes of Lisa's announcement, Admiral Zektal received his orders. The Draconian commander stood on the bridge of his flagship, Cosmic Dominion, watching as 800 capital ships and 2,000 support vessels prepared for battle. This massive fleet had never failed to force immediate surrender from any target. Set course for Earth, Admiral Zektal commanded. His voice carried the confidence of countless victories. We will show these primitives why no species defies the Council. The fleet entered hyperspace, beginning the journey that would take them to human space in 6 hours. Across the galaxy, news networks reported the unprecedented event. For the first time in Council history, a species had chosen. War over surrender. On Earth, Admiral Jack Morrison stood in the command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Around him, hundreds of officers monitored screens showing space traffic throughout human territory. Everything appeared normal. Patrol ships continued their routes. Colony defenses remained at standard levels. Earth's orbital platforms showed no signs of unusual activity. Admiral, we're receiving reports from our deep space sensors, reported Captain Steve Parker. The Council fleet has entered hyperspace on a direct course for Earth. Estimated arrival time is 6 hours. Admiral Morrison nodded calmly. Signal all commands. Operation Revelation is now active. Phase 1 begins immediately. Across human space, what had seemed like routine mining operations suddenly transformed. In the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, Captain Linda Morris commanded what appeared to be a simple or processing station. At Admiral Morrison's signal, she activated hidden systems that had been waiting for 15 years. All stations, this is Bastion 1, she announced. Remove camouflage and prepare for combat operations. The mining station's outer shell began to fall away like molting skin. Beneath the disguise lay a massive weapons platform bristling with energy cannons and missile tubes. Similar transformations occurred throughout the asteroid belt as dozens of hidden military installations revealed themselves. Commander Alex Turner sat in the pilot's seat of what looked like a cargo hauler drifting near Europa. When the signal came, his ship's false exterior panels dropped away, revealing a sleek combat vessel packed with advanced weapons. Around him, an entire squadron of disguised warships threw off their civilian disguises. "Shadow Squadron is ready for operations," he reported. "All stealth systems online and functioning." In Earth's orbital space, General Patricia Lee watched from the command deck of what every alien spy believed was a civilian space station. The structure had been observed by Council intelligence for years. They classified it as a simple research facility studying solar energy. At General Lee's command, the station's outer sections rotated and locked into new positions. Hidden weapon ports opened along its surface. Massive shield generators that had been disguised as solar panels came online. Within minutes, the peaceful research station had become a fortress capable of defending the entire Earth. Similar transformations occurred on every human world. Colony settlements that aliens thought were simple farming communities revealed hidden bunkers and weapon emplacements. Civilian transports shed their innocent appearances to become military assault ships. Even the humans themselves seemed different, moving with the precision of trained soldiers rather than simple colonists. The most dramatic revelation came from the outer edges of the solar system. In regions where Council sensors detected nothing but empty space, massive objects began to appear. Ship after ship materialized as advanced stealth systems deactivated. Captain Eric Davis commanded one of humanity's greatest secrets, the battleship Defiant. His ship was 3 times larger than anything in the visible human fleet, armed with weapons that combined human innovation with 15 years of studying alien technology. "Titan Squadron is ready," he reported to Admiral Morrison. "All ships report full readiness for combat operations." Across human space, similar squadrons of hidden warships revealed themselves. The Council's intelligence reports had been completely wrong. Earth didn't have 203 ships. They had nearly 2,000 combat vessels, many of them larger and more advanced than anything the aliens had seen. But the greatest surprise was yet to come. In star systems that the Council didn't even know humans had visited, Colonel Ryan Brooks coordinated the activation of the Deep Space Defense Network. 17 hidden military bases came online simultaneously, their sensors reaching across dozens of light years. "All deep space installations report ready," Colonel Brooks announced. "We have complete sensor coverage of Council fleet movements. Enemy forces are maintaining their predicted course and speed." Admiral Morrison studied the tactical displays showing both fleets. The Council Armada was impressive by any standard, but they were heading into a trap 15 years in the making. They expected to find a small, frightened human fleet waiting to surrender. Instead, they would face the largest military deception in galactic history. "All commands, this is Admiral Morrison," he broadcast to every human military unit. "For 15 years we have prepared for this moment. Today we show the galaxy that Earth will never bow to those who would enslave free peoples. Today we reveal what humanity is truly capable of." The Council fleet continued toward Earth, confident in their overwhelming superiority. Admiral Zekta reviewed the intelligence reports one final time. 200 human ships against his force of nearly 3,000. The battle would be over. In minutes, he had no idea that he was leading his fleet into the greatest military surprise in galactic history. In 3 hours, the galaxy would learn that humanity had been hiding a secret that would change everything. The Council fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. Admiral Zektal stood on the bridge of his flagship, Cosmic Dominion, expecting to see a small group of human ships waiting to surrender. Instead, his sensors detected something impossible. "Admiral," his tactical officer reported, his voice shaking, "we're reading massive energy signatures throughout the system, far more than intelligence predicted." Admiral Zektal studied the display screens. Where there should have been empty space, he saw weapons platforms emerging from asteroid fields. Hidden shipyards were revealing themselves, surrounded by hundreds of warships that hadn't existed in any council report. "How many ships are we facing?" he demanded. "Sir, we're still counting." Initial estimates suggest nearly 2,000 combat vessels, many of them larger than our heaviest cruisers. Admiral Zechtel felt a cold fear growing in his chest. This was nothing like the intelligence reports. The humans weren't cowering in fear. They were ready for war. In the asteroid belt, Captain Linda Morris commanded the newly revealed fortress. Bastion 1, her weapons officers reported ready status on all systems. Around her station, dozens of similar platforms prepared for battle. "Council fleet is entering weapons range," reported Lieutenant Kevin Walsh at the sensor station. "They're maintaining formation, but their communications are very active. I think they're surprised." Captain Morris smiled grimly. "They should be," signaled Admiral Morrison. "Bastion 1 is ready to demonstrate human firepower." The Council fleet moved forward, still confident despite their surprise. Admiral Zechtel ordered his ships into attack formation. Even if the humans had more ships than expected, Council technology was supposed to be superior. "All ships, open." "Fire," Admiral Zechtel commanded. "Destroy the human defenses." 800 Council capital ships fired simultaneously. Energy beams and plasma missiles streaked across space toward the human positions. The alien commander expected to see human ships exploding within seconds. Instead, the human vessels absorbed the attack. Advanced shield systems that operated on completely different principles from Council designs deflected the energy weapons. The plasma missiles exploded harmlessly against barriers that seemed to bend space itself. "Impossible," whispered Admiral Zechtel. "Our weapons should have destroyed them." Captain Eric Davis commanded the human battleship Defiant, one of the massive Titan-class vessels that had been completely hidden from Council sensors. His ship had taken direct hits from 12 Council heavy cruisers without any damage. "Return fire," Captain Davis ordered. "Show them what human weapons can do." The Defiant's main guns fired once. The energy beam cut through space and struck a Council heavy cruiser. The alien ship's shields collapsed instantly. The beam continued through the armor plating and out the other side. The cruiser exploded in a brilliant flash of light. Across the human fleet, similar scenes played out. Human weapons cut through Council defenses like they were made of paper. Ships that had dominated the galaxy for centuries found themselves outgunned by vessels they had never seen before. Commander Alex Turner led his squadron of stealth frigates in an attack on the Council fleet's communication ships. His vessels had been invisible to alien sensors, allowing them to get close without being detected. "Shadow Squadron, begin your attack run," he commanded. His ships appeared out of nowhere, firing precisely targeted weapons at the enemy communication arrays. Within minutes, the Council fleet found itself partially blind and unable to coordinate effectively. The real shock came when Captain Morris activated Bastion 1's primary weapon system. The massive fortress had been disguised as a simple mining platform for 15 years. Now it revealed its true purpose. "Primary cannon charged and ready," reported her weapons officer. "Fire," Captain Morris ordered. The energy beam that emerged from Bastion 1 was larger than anything the Council had ever seen. It struck Admiral Zechtel's flagship directly. The Cosmic Dominion's shields, which should have been able to stop any known weapon, collapsed immediately. The beam punched through the ship's armor and destroyed half the vessel in a single shot. Admiral Zechtel found himself on a dying ship, his bridge filled with smoke and sparks. Emergency lights flickered as his crew tried to save what remained of their flagship. "Damage report," he shouted over the alarms. "Sir, we've lost main power, weapons are offline, and we're venting atmosphere on 12 decks. We need to evacuate immediately." As the Council admiral transferred his command to another ship, he realized the terrible truth. The humans hadn't just been hiding ships. They had been developing weapons and defenses that were superior to anything the Council possessed. General Patricia Lee coordinated Earth's orbital defense network from her command station. What the aliens had thought were simple research facilities revealed themselves as massive fortress complexes, each one capable of engaging multiple enemy capital ships. All orbital platforms report ready, she announced to Admiral Morrison. Earth's defenses are holding perfectly. Enemy weapons are having no significant effect. The battle intensified as more human forces revealed themselves. From deep space came the most surprising development of all. Colonel Ryan Brooks had been coordinating humanity's most secret weapon. The Deep Space Fleet, massive human battleships emerged from hyperspace behind the Council forces. These ships had traveled from hidden bases using routes the aliens didn't know existed. The Council fleet suddenly found itself surrounded. "This is Colonel Brooks to all human forces," he broadcast. "Deep Space Fleet is in position. We have the enemy surrounded." Admiral Zechtel, now commanding from his backup flagship, watched his tactical display with growing horror. His fleet was trapped between Earth's defenses and a force of human ships that seemed to appear from nowhere. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "Where did these ships come from?" His intelligence officer checked the data again. "Sir, our sensors show no hyperspace routes in those regions. It's as if they traveled through space that doesn't exist." Admiral Morrison opened a communication channel to the Council fleet. His voice was calm and confident as he delivered humanity's message. "Admiral Zechtel, this is Admiral Morrison of Earth Defense Command. You came here expecting to face a weak and frightened species. Instead, you have discovered that humanity has been preparing for this moment since the day we met the Council." The Council Admiral listened with growing fear as the human continued. "What you see around you represents only 10% of humanity's actual military capability. We have been building ships, weapons, and bases in places your sensors cannot detect. We have been training soldiers and developing tactics specifically designed to defeat Council forces." Admiral Morrison's next words would be remembered throughout galactic history. "You have two choices, Admiral. Order your fleet to withdraw immediately and return to Council space, or we will demonstrate the other 90% of our military power. The choice is yours, but you have 30 seconds to decide." Admiral Zechtel looked at his tactical displays. His fleet was surrounded, outgunned, and facing weapons they couldn't defend against. For the first time in Council history, their supposedly invincible military had met its match. The 30 seconds felt like hours. Finally, Admiral Zechtel gave the order that would shock the entire galaxy. "All ships begin immediate withdrawal. We are returning to Council space." As the Council fleet retreated in disorder, news of their defeat spread across the galaxy at light speed. Humanity had done the impossible. They had faced the Council's military might and won. News of the Council fleet's defeat spread across the galaxy like wildfire. On 1,000 worlds, beings watched their communication screens in shock. The impossible had happened. The mighty Council military had been beaten by humans, a species most aliens considered primitive. On the Etherian homeworld, Prime Minister Luxandra called an emergency meeting of her government. The Etherian collective had been growing uncomfortable with Council control for years, but had never dared to resist. "The humans have proven it can be done," she told her advisors. "If Earth can defeat the Council fleet, perhaps we can regain our independence too." Similar conversations were happening on dozens of worlds. Species that had accepted Council dominance for generations suddenly saw a new possibility. Freedom was not impossible after all. Dr. Helen Carter stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Council. The chamber that had once intimidated Ambassador Lisa Grant now seemed smaller and less impressive. Half the member species had demanded this meeting to understand what had really happened. "Council members," Dr. Carter began, "Earth has been studying your organization since our first contact 15 years ago. We discovered something disturbing. Every species that joins the Council eventually loses its independence." Speaker Vextharia's crystal form pulsed angrily. "That is false. The Council protects member species from chaos and war." "You protect them by taking away their ability to protect themselves," Dr. Carter replied calmly. "We studied the histories of all 12 member species. Each one followed the same pattern. First invitation, then gradual dependence, finally complete absorption. She activated a holographic display showing the timeline of Council expansion. The Corvan Republic once controlled 50 star systems. Now they serve as your military arm. The Hydros Federation used to be a major trading power. Now they manage Council shipping routes. Every member species has become a department in your government. Intelligence Director Nalsith stood up, her gray face showing confusion. But humans appeared weak. Our sensors detected only 203 ships. How did you hide so much military power? Dr. Carter smiled. You saw exactly what we wanted you to see. From the moment Earth made contact with alien life, we began preparing for this day. We knew the Council would eventually come for us. The revelation continued as Dr. Carter explained humanity's 15-year deception. Hidden shipyards had been building vessels using designs kept secret from galactic observation. Advanced manufacturing facilities had been disguised as simple mining operations. Entire military installations had been constructed in star systems the Council didn't know humans had explored. But your species seems so peaceful, protested Quillara from the Etherian Collective. You built schools and hospitals on your colonies. You sent teachers and doctors, not soldiers. We did both, Dr. Carter explained. Every human colonist received military training. Every teacher could handle weapons. Every doctor could treat battle wounds. Our colonies were designed to look peaceful while being prepared for war. President Karen White appeared on the chamber's main screen. Broadcasting from Earth, her message was simple and direct. The age of Council dominance is over. Earth announces the formation of the Human Systems Alliance. We offer friendship and protection to any species that wishes to maintain its independence. The response was immediate. Within hours, 17 different species contacted Earth requesting information about joining the new alliance. The Etherian Collective became the first major civilization to formally withdraw from the Council. Ambassador Lisa Grant, now serving as Earth's first alliance coordinator, negotiated the treaty that would become the foundation of the new Galactic Order. The document established principles of mutual respect and sovereign equality that stood in complete opposition to the Council's hierarchical system. No member of the alliance will surrender military control to any other member, the treaty stated. Each species maintains the right to defend itself and govern its own affairs. Admiral Jack Morrison revealed the full scope of humanity's military. Preparations at a press conference broadcast throughout the galaxy. The numbers were staggering even to Earth's allies. Operation Revelation involved more than just hiding ships, he explained. We built a defensive network spanning 47 star systems. Our manufacturing capability can produce a new warship every 6 days. Our AI coordination systems can manage battles across multiple galaxies simultaneously. The most impressive revelation came from Colonel Ryan Brooks, whose Deep Space Operations Division had remained secret even from most human officials. We established permanent bases in 127 star systems that don't appear on any Council maps. These installations form a network that can coordinate defense or offense across a region larger than the entire Council territory. The galaxy's power structure shifted rapidly. 3 more major civilizations followed the Etherian example and declared independence from the Council. The Vegan Commonwealth, the Centauri Alliance, and the Free Worlds of Andromeda all joined the Human Systems Alliance within the first month. Council. Speaker Vex Thari made one final attempt to maintain control. He offered Earth equal membership in the Council, with humanity serving as co-leaders alongside the original founding species. President White's response became legendary across the galaxy. Earth doesn't seek to rule others, but we will ensure that no one rules us. The Council can continue to exist if it chooses, but it will never again force free peoples into servitude. The transformation was complete within 6 months. The Council's authority collapsed as member after member declared independence. Some species chose to join the Human Systems Alliance. Others formed their own independent governments. A few remained with the Council, but as equals rather than subjects. Captain Steve Parker, promoted to Admiral and commanding Earth's first diplomatic fleet, delivered humanity's final message to the galaxy. He stood on the bridge of the cruiser Liberty as it visited world after world, carrying Earth's offer of friendship to any species that desired freedom. Citizens of the galaxy, he broadcast, humanity extends its hand in friendship to all who seek peace and freedom among the stars. We have proven that no species needs to bow before others to survive and prosper. His words were heard on 1,000 worlds by billions of beings who had never imagined they could be free. Let it be known throughout the galaxy that Earth and her allies will never again allow free peoples to be enslaved. The age of galactic empires is over. The age of free worlds has begun. The revelation of humanity's secret military power had done more than secure Earth's independence. It had sparked a revolution that transformed galactic civilization. Species that had lived under council rule for centuries suddenly found themselves free to choose their own destinies. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had kept its promise to itself and to all who valued freedom. They had proven that with courage, preparation, and determination, even the smallest species could stand against the largest empire and win. Earth's secret was revealed, and the galaxy was forever changed.